show here on BCHS.TV. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey. He's talking to Coach Smith about Brandon Central Wrestling as it comes up. And Coach Smith, first off, we talk wrestling, let's talk about baby. Since we last met with you and had the interview, you have announced the daughter.
The arrival of our daughter.
And her name is?
Dottie Faith Ann Smith. So
Faith Ann Smith.
Yeah, we named her after some family members of mine 3, 4, 5 generations back, and it means the meaning of it is gift of God, and so it's not short for Dorothy, it's Dottie, but the gift of God, and then the family ties, man, it's just been
Is she spoiled rotten yet?
She's spoiled rotten for sure. She's keeping mom and dad up at night, but I think that's par for the course. But she's man, she's melted me every day, man. Today's my first day back. It was hard to leave this morning, but I'm glad to be back though.
Well, we've all been there. Some of us been there and done that. We know what.
Yeah.
They just get sweeter as they get older, and they can
I hope so.
start communicating with you, and you start seeing things. I kid. Somebody said you'll have her on the wrestling mat in about 3 or 4 months. You know.
Watch me. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to talk them into coming up to the state tournament this weekend, but I don't know if Sarah's going to go for that. But we're trying to. Man, I don't know if I can go 4 days without seeing her, but we'll see what we can do.
Well, before we talk about this week's state tournament, let's talk about what has happened since we last met. And obviously, you had a huge region tournament last week.
Yeah, we had
and also the state was competing.
Yeah, we had the individual region last weekend. The weekend before, we had the state duels. You know, and wrestling's a unique sport because it's got 2 state tournaments. Like Tennessee has, we have 2 postseasons. It's a district, region, state duel, team versus team, my 14 versus your 14. And then now we get into the individual season, which is my 14 in an individual tournament, in individual tournaments against other teams. And so Mr. Shorter was asking, have to explain that. Well, the state duels was our team against 16 other teams in the state. The region traditional last weekend was individual tournaments for each kid. The better they do, the more points they score for the team. So they keep a team race too. But at the state duels, we had a disappointing match Friday night against Wilson Central. Number 2, number 3 ranked team in the state, right there with us all year long. They beat us 40-30, and then we had to rebound the next day and wrestle 4 straight matches and come back for third. Third's not what we wanted. I'm not so sure that realistically we could have won a state title, but that's how we try to compete. But I thought we should have been in the finals. Nonetheless, we didn't. Our team showed character and battled back. We beat Clarksville, Oakland, Dobbins-Bennett, and then Blackman in consecutive matches. Wrestled really well. Showed a ton of character.
It's got to be tiring for those guys to wrestle.
It is, and the longer the day went, the better we got. So it was really nice to see the character of my team tested, but it was also to see that in deeper tournaments like that, how we kind of responded, and other teams were kind of shutting down. So it was a nice indicator for maybe what was coming. And then, as you mentioned, as soon as we finish, now we got third, so if we win our region next year, which will be difficult because Cleveland will be good and we're good, and Saudi and Walker Valley, don't want to leave anybody out, they're all good. But if we win our region with a placement, we can be seeded in the state tournament next year, so that's big for future growth.
Okay.
The region individual, or the traditional region as they call it, was at Ray County last weekend, and we had 14 out of 14 advance to the state tournament.
Doesn't get any better than that?
Doesn't get any better. Now it does, because we had 1 female advance 2 weekends before. So I'm taking 15. We're taking 15 contestants to the state tournament this year, our first girl state qualifier.
And who is she?
Abigail Beasley. She's awesome. She got third in the girls Eastern Regional. She's in an 8-man bracket in the state tournament starting on Friday. She's the first in the area, the first for Bradley. And then I've got 14 point scores going to the state traditional this Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Franklin.
Wow, that's going to be exciting. At the same place that the duels was held.
Yeah. Be at the same place, Williamson County Ag and Expo Center.
Did anyone in particular come to mind just off the top of your head, hey, I need to meet this guy. He had a real good region. Stepped up for us there.
down low, Ethan Wilson, who we've had on the show before, he had he had kind of a statement win against Bentley Ellison. It's number 1 and number 2 ranked kids in the state right there. Bentley's been doing a great job of keeping it close and wrestling him tough, but Ethan had a really good match against him. And then right after that at 113, Easton Lipsey had a big win over Arlo Laxton, who's a state ranked kid, highly thought of kid. First time Easton's beaten him since they've been in high school together. Wow. And then we followed that up with Luke Belcher at 120 defeating the defending state champion. So boom, 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 we had 3 big wins right in a row. And so, we've kind of talked on the show about momentum before. We're kind of a momentum team. We had a lot of momentum the second day at the state tournament at the duels, and we were able to really just kind of show how strong of a team we were. And then we got to start in the finals at 106, and big win at 106, upset at 113. Upset at 120. And then we just kind of kept our foot on the gas. And, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but we did end up winning the region title last weekend, which was good. That was big for our team. It shows that we can contend for a state title on a traditional side of things. So even though we may not have won the first state title, we still have a shot at winning another one.
Well, now when the traditional starts this coming weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday on Franklin's Day, are the weight classes already chosen? Will they start at a certain weight limit? Will they draw them like they do?
No. So it's like each weight class is its own tournament.
Oh, okay.
So 4 region qualifiers from 8 regions are entered into a 32-man bracket.
Okay.
So, like if Ethan Wilson, our 106-pounder state medalist, team captain, if he makes it to the finals and wins in the finals, he obviously scores a bunch of points for his team. Right. So the deeper each of your kids go, the more points they score. So it shows the strength of the team. So
how many matches do they have to wrestle if they win the state title?
Five in a row to be a state champion.
5 in a row to be a state champion.
If you lose in the first round, it's 7 matches back to third. Yeah, so it's a big 3-day event. Yeah, so if we're going to win a state title this year, I think we've got a lot of kids that can place in the tournament, and then I think we have several kids who are going to win matches at the tournament. So I've always thought we were a little bit tougher traditional team versus individual team. And I really do think, and when we came back from the duels last week, like Monday, the theme of the week was, guys, I've looked at it side by side. Wilson Central, Cleveland, Blackman, Bradley, we can be state champions this year. But we can't be the only ones that believe that.
Right.
And then when we went into the region and we did what we did, it was almost like an "I told you so" type moment. Like, look, we have to duplicate this because we're not after region titles. We're after state titles. But we can do this, and now we've got 100 other teams in the same tournament that can help us or can hurt us. Yeah. But I think we have we have as good a shot as anybody to win a state championship this weekend.
What is the count right now of team championships and individual championships off the top of your head? I've asked that before.
So we've got
27.
14 dual state championships, 12 traditional state championships. We have 69 individual state champions, and we have 194 individual state medalists.
Wow.
And maybe 196.
And that's more than anybody in the state has.
But I mean, state titles, yes, that's one more than Father Ryan. I can't speak for that. That's a lot. That's a lot for sure. I'm sure that the Baylors, McCauley's, Cleveland's has a lot. The East Ridges and Red Banks from the early, those guys have a lot too. But I'd put our numbers up against a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I guarantee that.
So
well, we want to wish you the best of luck over there this coming weekend. Bring back another state title for us.
27 sounds good. 27 is a little rant, 27 has a good feel to it.
Yeah, and bring back a bunch of individual medals there too, and state titles.
It's been 2 years since we've had a state champion. We went about over 25 years with having a state champion every year.
2 years too long.
2 years too long. So I think we're going to have some guys wrestling Friday or Saturday night. So
we trust you too.
I hope so.
Coach Ben Smith,
yes, sir.
Papa there, Ben Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
Father of Dottie.
That's right.
And Sarah. Thanks for joining us as always. Welcome back to our school since you had your little vacation there.
Fraternity leave. Fraternity leave.
Paternity leave. That's what I was trying to think of.
Maternity doesn't sound manly enough. Paternity leave. Yeah.
Until next time, for Ben, it's Carol saying God bless and go Bears.